Okay, in this lecture we're going to talk about an application of linear equations that involves an investment type of situation. So Carl bought two plots of land. Okay, so we've got two plots of land for a total of $120,000. When he sold the first plot, he made a profit of 15%. Now when he sold the second plot, he lost 10%. Now his total profit was $5,500, and we're asked to find how much did he pay for each piece of land. Alright, so read through the problem carefully and the number of times it requires for you to understand exactly what it's asking. Of course, our first thing here would be to assign a variable to the unknown quantity. Assign it a symbol of some sort. And in this case here we're asked to find how much did he pay for each plot of land. Okay, so let's suppose we let X be the amount paid for plot number 1. Okay, then he paid how much for plot number 2 was, of course, he paid $120,000 for both, so it would be $120,000 minus X. Okay, right, so we do have that. Alright, so it's always good to set up a table of this. So let's talk about the amount paid. Okay, let's talk about the rate of profit or loss. And let's talk about what the profit or loss was. Right, so let's set up our table. Alright, so we paid X amount for plot number 1. Okay, so here's plot 1. And here's plot 2. Right, so he paid $120,000 minus X for plot number 2. Now the rate that he made of profit that he made on the first plot was 15%. But he made a loss of 10% on the second plot. Okay. Alright, so the total amount paid now, if we look at this, here would be $120,000. Right, now let's have a look at the interest that he made. He made a total of $5,500. Of course, the profit or loss here would be 0.15x. That's x times this rate. And this one would be negative 0.1 by 120,000 minus x. Now these two here, when we add them, must come up to this value here. So we now form an equation, so we get 0.15x minus 0.10 by 120,000 minus x, and this must be equal to 5,500. So we now have an equation that we can solve. Alright, so away we go is 0.15x minus, let's have a look here, it's going to multiply this by 2, so it's going to be 12,000. Negative by negative is positive, 0.10x, and this is equal to 5,500. Alright, so when we add these two together, we're going to get 0.25x. We're going to add our 12,000 to both sides, so this will now be 17,500. So adding this to this. Alright, so therefore this implies then that x is equal to 17,500 divided by 0.25, and you can apply your calculator to that, and that comes out to be 70,000. Now remember, that's not your answer. You've got to put your answer in terms of the question. So what we say here is Carl, alright, paid $70,000 for the first plot. And of course 120,000 minus 70,000, which of course is equal to $50,000, all right, for the second plot. All right, and that's how we do an investment problem. And important, set up your table so it makes sense to you on how to do this.